What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole, and I'm a person in recovery. My sobriety date is July 13th, 2015, and I got a special freaking treat for you. Tonight, we are having a guest speaker on. Her name is Erin, but she goes by Dizzy on TikTok. She's super fucking cool. She's been sober for about, I think, 4 months now, y'all. And I'm super, super stoked to have her on the channel to share her story with you guys. Y'all know my favorite kind of meetings are speaker meetings. So I had to wipe off my my computer thingy. So that's what we're going to do. So my people on TikTok, y'all come over to YouTube. I'm going to end this stream with you guys, and I'm going to get on YouTube and start sharing this video out. Come hang out with us. My YouTube channel is called Real Talk Recovery, just like here on TikTok, and you'll be able to find me. You'll see me live right there. All right. Love you guys. Okay. So what's up, everybody? Okay. Y'all know what I got to do. I got to get in here and share the video. So let me do my thing. Everybody, this is what we're going to do. While we're here, why don't you guys introduce yourselves to the new family members? Okay. And if you're new, let us know. Say, hey, I'm new. What's up? Introduce yourself and give us your sobriety date. If you're not sober yet, that's okay. Let us know what you're trying to get sober from and if you need support, and we'll be able to support you. Hey, Misty. Hey, Sona. What's up, girl? Okay, here I go, y'all. I got to get into these groups and share the video. Boom, chakalaka. Hey, Apex. Hey, Golden. What's up? Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just sharing the video, y'all. Just give me a second, okay? I'm not ignoring you guys, okay? Yeah, you found it. It's not too hard once you know where I'm at. You know what I mean? Hey, Vivian, I see you, girl. Thanks for coming over. Thanks for coming over. I appreciate it, y'all. Sonia, what you doing, girl? How are you been doing? I hadn't seen you in a while. How's everything going? Are you doing okay? Yay, Wendy, you made it. Yay. Okay, there we go. Okay. I shared the video to a bunch of places. So, all right. Hey, Robin. Hey, Ann. So I'm really glad you guys are here. I'm super excited. You know, I get so inspired when I hear people share their stories. It's one of my favorite kind of like meetings to go to is when somebody's sharing their story. It never every time we have a meeting where we have a story time or a storyteller, whatever you want to call it, I always walk away feeling better than I felt when I got here. I have been looking forward to going live tonight all day long. I went to my parents. Oh, hey, Eric, I know who you are. I'm glad you said your real name, so that way I would know who you were. Oh my God, Sonia, that's so good. That's awesome. Kicking ass and taking names. You guys, I'm so proud of so many of you guys. Y'all are making such strides in your recovery. Hey, Angie, what's up, girl? So, anyway, I went to my mother-in-law's house today, me and my son and my husband, and we went and we played outside, and my husband and my son built a fort over by the river because my mother-in-law has this like creek thing in her backyard. And so they were playing out there all day long, and they had just the best time together. It's been so nice having my husband home. If you want to know the truth, you guys, it has been so nice. I'm going to miss him when he goes back to work. Also, so y'all, listen, while we're waiting on Dizzy to get here, I want to ask you guys on what are some videos you guys want me to make? Because I'm going to be recording some videos tonight. Because my makeup looks good, and I want to make sure that I don't waste it. So I'm taking requests from you guys on what kind of what videos y'all want me to make. So video requests. You know what I was also thinking about doing, you guys? I know that I have that 4-part series on my channel where I share my whole story, but I was thinking about redoing it. Like, would y'all want me to do that maybe in a shorter version? Or do you guys watching feelings after relapse? That's a great one. Yeah, that's a really good one. Thanks, Kel. Feelings after relapse. Because I want to make videos that you guys want to see, that are relevant to what you're going through, okay? Hey, Sona. Hey, Shelly. How are you doing, girl? How are you feeling? Give me some more, y'all. Give me some more. Making it through the first year of sobriety. Okay, that's a good one. Making it through the first year sober. You know what? Making it through the first year was hard for me, man. That's Mariah. You know what I have noticed, you guys, that when it was like, and I've noticed this with a lot of people who have yearly or have their first year anniversary, they always get super nervous and like have a bunch of anxiety right before they hit their 1 year. At least I did, and a lot of friends that I know have. But you know what? All you got to do is stay focused on staying sober and doing the next right thing. And if you are somebody who has made it through a year sober and you haven't like done any therapy or any kind of recovery support, like connecting with another addict or alcoholic and like having them help you, that's what I would suggest doing if you haven't done it already. Changing people, places, and things and feelings. Oh, changing people, places, and things. Changing people, places, things, and feeling lonely after you do that, and feeling lonely. Which I can totally relate to that too, because let me just tell y'all, when I got sober, when I got sober, I felt like I had so many friends when I was in active addiction. But now when I look back on it, you guys, I realize that none of those people were my friends. And I felt like I had been abandoned by everybody because I got sober and then, nobody even fucked with me. I mean, the only reason they did want to is if they were wanting to get high. And then once I got sober, I didn't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? And it was hard. It was really hard transitioning. Tips on going down your medication. When are you ready? How to keep mentally occupied. Okay. Taper tips. Taper tips. This is a good one. How to know you're ready. I got you. To know your damn, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for helping me with all this. And then how to keep mentally occupied. How to keep busy. Building a foundation in recovery. Ooh, that's a good one. Building a foundation in recovery, which is super important, you guys. Building a foundation. In fact, I've been doing this series on my TikTok, you guys, where I do uh, ticks tips from a recovering drug addict on how to stay sober. And so what I'm doing is I'm just making short, like 15 to 10-second videos where I talk about tips on how to stay sober every day. And I think like one of the tips was building a support network. And the next tip was being honest. And I shared a little bit about how when I first got sober, it was really hard for me to be honest because I used to lie all the damn time. And so when I got sober, I had to learn how to tell the truth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Act like you don't. And And that was the hardest thing for me, you guys, because I used to go into Walmart and Kroger and just like automatically go to down the aisle, and it was like the products were sticking to my fingers. I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, whoosh, whoosh, like I was Spider-Man or something. Feeling guilty. Let me see. Hold on, Mariah. I saw you. Okay. Gosh, y'all have so many great suggestions. Hey, Dizzy, I see you back there, girl. I'm going to bring you on in like 1 minute. So you get yourself all comfortable, and then I'll bring you on. Here we go. Feeling guilty for cutting people off. That's a really good suggestion. Okay, you guys, our girl is here. She's back there looking beautiful and ready to go. Okay, guys, what are we talking about this guy here? Okay, so here we go, guys. I'm going to go through your suggestions later on. Let's get Erin up here to share her experience, strength, and hope with us. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay, so this is my YouTube channel, Real Talk Recovery, and we talk about recovery. And I love having people on my channel, especially from TikTok, because I'm meeting so many cool people over there. So I'm super excited to have you on. I've been telling everybody, about you all week long and trying to, like get everybody pumped up. So I really want you to know how much I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and share your story with us, for real.
I appreciate you asking me, for real.
I'm excited. All you got to do is, because I'm going to let you take it. You're going to take it away. But just tell us what it was like before you got into your addiction, what your life was like during your addiction, and then what your life is like now. And you can share anything. You can cuss. You don't have to be PG or anything like that. Like, you can tell it like it is.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let you take over. And if I have a question or anything, I'll kind of just, raise my hand and just say, I have a question, and then you answer it, blah, 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 blah. But it's really awesome. It'll go smoothly. So you got the floor, girl.
All right. So I guess let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
I grew up in a extremely volatile household. My father was a heroin addict and an alcoholic. There's addiction on both sides of my family, mother and father's side. I never really understood until now, obviously, the disease of addiction. And I harbored such resentment, oh my gosh, for so long for that man. And, I had that childhood dream of one day finding him and just like beating his fucking brains in. And that's just, as a child, I'm thinking this, he signed his rights away to us. So at a certain point, he was gone. But my earliest memories of him were beating my mother to a pulp, making us sit there and watch. She would kick him out. He would come right back and break into our house. We lived in Baltimore City at the time, and Baltimore City's never been a great place. So, we lived in a row home, and, he would just break in the back of our house, and he would just do crazy things, like so much hatred inside of him. And, now I realize why. But, back then, I'm a child. I don't understand any of this. And, it was just so awful. He would just pull out all of our food. We didn't have a lot, as it was back then. And he would bleach it all. Just things like that. Like, who does that, especially your father? But,
Right.
he was always on a drunken binge. I didn't realize until later he was a heroin addict. I knew he was an alcoholic. So, I had a saving grace a little through that. I had my grandmother. My mom, obviously, at that point was a single mother, and she would work a lot. So we would be home a lot by ourselves, or we would go to a babysitter. We had a babysitter who lived across the street from us, but she had a few people she did babysit, and you just never know who you're leaving your kids with, man. You just never do.
Yeah.
And, there I was sexually assaulted at the age of 7. So, I kind of think that set the precedent for me, with all of that from the, my early ages of remembering nothing but shit, pretty much. through that all, I would beg, not to go over there. And I would beg to go to my grandmother's house. But my grandmother owned a sub shop down in Baltimore City. And so my mom never wanted us to bug her. But my grandmother always wanted us to bug her. So I did not care. I was defiant even at that age. I would call her and be like, come get me. And she
I don't
was.
blame you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard to grow up like that. Like, I was talking to people on TikTok, and I was saying, like, I had such a good raised childhood. Like, my parents are still married, and so when I hear y'all come on, because April had a similar experience with her story that she came on and shared last week, and I cannot even imagine growing up and not. It's like almost like you didn't even have a chance from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
fucked up, man. It
It
makes
is.
me realize that I almost feel like an asshole because I use drugs, because I'm like like I had a good life when I was a kid. And I almost feel like, damn, Nicole, what the fuck's your excuse? You know what I'm saying?
It's that addiction, man. It just takes over the minute it grabs a hold of you.
Yeah.
So anyway, at a certain point, my mother actually met a really wonderful husband, a man she married, and they're still married to this day. That was 91. We moved from the city and we moved to Annapolis, Maryland. And things got better for a long time actually there, until she left me again with one of her friends who had an older son. And there we go again. And it's crazy to this day. She doesn't know any of this. I kind of released a little bit to her, but I'm still new in this, and I'm, still trying to find, I guess, the right way to say everything. But, stepping back, so, that happened. I won't get too much into that, but, it was a one-time thing. I never allowed that woman to ever, babysit me ever again. I just didn't. And I grew up from there. I want to say 12 at the time. So I didn't really need anybody to watch me after that. But that really set a precedent for me as well, that I was promiscuous at a very young age, very young. I mean, I don't think I would have known what to do had it not been for all that. And,
right.
I'm 12 years old, 13 years old, and I'm already out there doing this stuff. I think my first actual addiction was actually stealing. I was young and I was stealing little things from just the stupidest things from stores. And then it turned into boys. I was like boy crazy. So it was real. Have always been replacing one thing for another. It didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
I could never get enough of anything. So, once we moved down there, that's when it started. So my sister, I have an older sister. She's 2 years older than me. Introduced me to cigarettes. That was my first real addiction, real addiction, to a substance, with cigarettes. And then she introduced me to marijuana, and, and then we moved to bumfuck. There was nothing down here when we moved down here, Calvert County, Maryland. And I'm telling you, there was a Giant and a Taco Bell, and that was it in this county. And so what is there else left to do for children around here, except for to all hop in as many people in a car and drive to a field somewhere and get wasted, or, do whatever. And that's pretty much what we did. And, it was weed a long time for me. And then alcohol played a big part as well when I was younger. But the weed, marijuana for me was it for a very, very long time. And I met my high school sweetheart. We had a child. I didn't do anything during that time. I was able to put it all down. But as soon as he was born, I went right back to smoking weed. But then I actually really just got sick and tired of it. And I wound up leaving his father because I just couldn't do it anymore, all of it. I think I was in that stage of needing to grow up because I have a child now. And do I stay here and just be a child that has a child? I was 19 years old when I had him. I had just turned 19. And, I wanted better for him. So after that, I really started drinking. It was more of the legal thing, I guess, for me, since I could buy it somewhere and it wasn't illegal, then it was okay for me to do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that
Oh
that
yeah.
thinking. So I just started drinking like raging alcoholic. And it's so sad because I used to always call myself a professional drunk parent. How horrible is that?
I can relate.
I mean, awful. Girl, I can't tell you how many times, but you know, when you're an addict and you drink to get drunk at period. You don't just drink to have a drink or go out socially and drink. No, you drink to get blackout. And that's how I was. I
Yeah.
drank to get blackout. You would find me somewhere random every single time. The most random places. Most of the time it was in the shower and I'd be being dragged out of that sucker. But just drink to get blacked out every single time.
Well, what's the point of drinking unless you're drinking to get fucked up?
Exactly. And
Hello.
it did not matter, girl. I would rally and go back for more. And we all know what rallying and going is. So that was me, rally and go.
So I would like to go eat something, or like I remember we had like this. We thought that if we like ate something and then kind of sat down for a little bit, then we wouldn't be so sick later on and soak it up with bread and all this stuff. I cannot tell you how many times I've had alcohol poisoning and almost killed myself because I would drink so much. And this was when I was like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Like I was still young back then, but it was alcohol was always a motherfucker for me because like you said, it was so easily accessible. Um, and people didn't judge me for drinking like they judged
Exactly.
me for doing other stuff, you know?
It was
So
it was just so welcomed, you know, with everybody. I don't think, you know, we throw this word stigma around. There wasn't any with that. Like you could
right.
just drink and you'd be fine. And it just, I'm from an Italian family, and so drinking is drinking. Like it doesn't matter. So going on from there, I broke my leg. And that's where it kind of really all started. For me, where it really grabbed a hold of me. I was a military spouse. So I had my leg fixed, and I am the biggest klutz. It doesn't matter. I was just walking and that sucker broke.
Damn.
I know. And I broke it in the sweet spot where you could not just put a cast on. I had to have 3 surgeries. I couldn't walk for 6 months. It was
Wow.
crazy. But they sent me home with morphine, Percocets, and Valium. All of those combined. They're like, here's the Valium for muscle spasms. Here's morphine because you need it. And then here's your Valium or your Vicodin. And I think they started me with Vicodin and then it moved to Percocet. So that's what it was. Okay. So Vicodin. But while I was in the hospital, they gave me Percocets. And the nurse even said to me, we're going to discharge you, but if you tell us that your pain is 7 or more, we'll give you another one before you leave. So of course I said, okay, yeah, I got a 7. I'm at a 10. Give me a 10.
When you first took opiates, what was your experience? Like, did you feel amazing? Were you like, I got to do this again? Tell me about it.
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was the best feeling of my entire life. I was like, I always want to feel like this. I never do not want to feel like this. I want to feel like this all the time.
Yeah.
And when they sent me home, I mean, like, it's amazing. It's just, the euphoric feeling was crazy. I want to also mention that right before I started that, I was a horrible user of MDMA. Horrible. I mean, every chance I got, which was like at least
like
4.
ecstasy? Is it ecstasy or Molly or
Molly? Yeah.
So what did that make you feel like? Like high as in speedy or what?
That just made everything in the world beautiful, pretty much. Like everything felt great. Everything was okay. And you just loved the fuck out of everything. I mean, it was the best. That right there was the best feeling of my entire life.
How did you get introduced to MDMA?
Geez, how did I get introduced to that? Oh, that's right, my sister.
I had a sister that I got high with too, so I understand.
Well, she actually dated a guy who was trafficking ecstasy, not Molly, the pills. And he actually did fed prison time for it. He was going back and forth to, what was it, New York on a train, and they caught him.
Oh, damn.
But I was getting them from him and selling them down here. So I would get stuff for free. I mean, like, what? I would do anything to get shit for free. That's pretty much
Right.
what it was. But pretty much everything I did was to start with her. I did cocaine with her the first time at 16 years old. So, she was older than me, so she tried things before me. And I'm always like, yeah, I want to try that. Give me. So
Right.
my older sister's doing it. Why not? Looks like fun. Not knowing that it would lead me down the path that it led me.
Right.
But I was pretty much in a coma when I came home from that hospital. I don't remember anything for like 2 weeks. I was completely drugged. But, there was a point where I didn't need to take them anymore, but I continued to take them until they were on and asked for more. That was 2012 when I got introduced to the opiates. And it kind of just went from there. I met a friend. I attended college to get a cert in phlebotomy. Go figure. And so I go to get a cert in phlebotomy. I meet this girl in my class, and she knows people around here. And I'm like, well, there you go. So she introduced me to the people that she knew. And actually from there, it kind of just went 0 to 100 real quick. I met so many people, and, we don't trust anybody. They don't trust anybody. But I was able to really make a lot of people trust me. And I was selling a lot of stuff for people. I mean, a lot of stuff.
Like for the drug dealers, they would give it to you and then you would get rid of it and they would give you free product?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Or I just tack on price and people would pay me it, and then I that to keep whatever I could get. It was no good. But I was then introduced to Opanas, and I fell in love. And I mean, that was like the love of my life at that point. You could not tell me different. I don't even want anything else but this. Like, you got Percocets? No, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want it unless it's this. But obviously, I'd take it if I was going to be sick.
Right, right.
But my number one was Opana, and they give that shit out here like candy to everyone.
Back then, even before then, like, it was so easy to get pills. Like, in Arkansas, we would drive down to Florida and go to those pill mills down there, like 6 or 7 of us on a trip. And everybody would pay $200 to this doctor and get a prescription of Oxy. I mean, 40 milligram Oxy, 80 milligram Oxycontin. Like, I'm talking like no joke,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. I heard a lot about that Florida situation. But yeah, and Opana, so they ran rampant around here, and I grabbed a hold of every single person that I knew got those things and didn't take them, and I'd be like, I'll get rid of them for you, because they given me, and I'd sell them for double.
Yeah.
So I'd be able to keep a half of a script, and even that didn't last me. I was still spending my own money. I'm just crazy to think about. So in that time frame, I actually got pregnant with my third child. And during that time, I was addicted to opiates, full blown. And I didn't know really what to say. So I didn't say anything until they tested me for it, and I didn't know they did. And so the doctor had said something to me like, I had Suboxone in my system as well, because I was trying, it never worked, to get off of it by myself without the assistance of somebody else, but like under doctor care. So she was like, I want you to go see this doctor. There's a doctor in my town who actually started a program for pregnant women, just specifically for here, because they didn't have anything for pregnant women who were addicted. So he ran this whole program down here. So she sent me to him. Extremely nice guy. I mean, non-judgmental in any way, shape, or form. He was amazing, but I still couldn't stop.
Yeah.
I was going to him and getting this prescription for Subutex, because they give you when you're pregnant, as opposed to the Suboxone, because it doesn't have the blocker, that extra stuff in it. So Anyway, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. Like I could not stop. And the hold that had on me, and people would just bring me stuff constantly. And like, I could just never say no. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to hurt this child. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Wake the fuck up. I couldn't. And I can't tell you how many times I would get up and I would be like, you have got to, so you're going to harm this child. They're going to take this kid from you. Like, they don't play anymore. Like, this kid is gone if you don't get your shit together. And I still couldn't get my shit together. But there was no action by them. Like, they would just say, okay, well, you shouldn't have this in your system. Here's another prescription. Like,
Yeah.
nothing was offered. No, I needed inpatient treatment. Nothing else was going to help me. And, at that point, I knew I had a problem, but I guess I didn't really know I was an addict until a little bit later. But I actually, and I do not know how the hell I did it, but about 3.5, 4 weeks before I had him, I strapped my ass to this bed in my house and I did not move. And I made myself handle it and just stop because, again, the stigma. I did not want anybody in my family to know that my child's being taken away because I'm a fucking drug addict.
Right.
And so I was able to sit here and take just enough Suboxone to get myself through that part so I wouldn't harm the baby. And then also I would take just enough every time I'd see him, because if I was stopping that, then I was not going to have my child be withdrawing from Suboxone either.
Right.
So just to stay in the program and not to get in trouble, I would take it right before I'd have to go take a piss test, and that was it. So my son was born with nothing in his system.
That's good.
And no withdrawals at all. But they did not know.
You're really lucky, girl, because
So lucky.
You're very blessed. Because when I was pregnant, I gave birth to my son strung out on dope, like strung out, high as hell, looking like a crazy person. And it was the worst experience of my life. And it should have been the best experience of my life. And I still, to this day, like think about how the birth of my son was not a good experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I was using drugs. And so anybody who can stop using drugs when they're pregnant, I always just think that's so amazing, because I could not stop. I was just, I wish I could have been stronger for my son.
It's not about the
little boy is
strength.
very, very lucky to have you as mom.
It's not about the strength, girl. That stuff just has a hold on you, man. And I'm telling you, I was this close to being the same exact way. I was this close. And I don't know what got in me, but it's almost like when I am faced with something like that somehow I get the willpower. I don't know. But, and even through that, so I was, I'm married. I'm still going out and getting shit for him. Like, how horrible is that?
Yeah.
You know? And it's fucked up, man. I would go out and get it for both of us. And, I don't want to get into it too much, but, he has a high profile job that if I was the one to get in trouble, it would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just your thinking with that. I mean, like, I just look back on that and I'm like, God, it's just fucked up, So this whole time I'm supporting 2 habits, feeding 2 habits, doing all the shit I shouldn't be doing for, me and him. And it sucked, because you're always being looked at like you're doing more too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was lucky I didn't have to do more. But
it's over with you or no?
I didn't put it past me. I would have done more if that's what it took to get my shit.
Yeah.
I absolutely know I would have been there. But so I have him, and they're supposed to do a CPS check on you because you're in this program. Nobody ever came. Nobody ever came and checked on us.
Man, girl, I'm telling you what, you slid through the cracks, because
I don't know how.
But that's happened so much, and that's why, like, Child Protective Services is a broken system. Like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
It
Like,
is.
I'm glad that you didn't have to go. They didn't get you though like that, because when they do get you, they act like they want to help you, but then they make it so much. They act like they are there to help, but then they make it like horrible. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You know, I've heard horror stories. I'm extremely lucky to not have had to go through that, but that was absolutely one of the steps that you had to take in order to be within that program. Like, they would come to your house afterwards, make sure there's a safe environment, stuff like that, you know. And but even in the hospital, before I even got out of that hospital, I had people bringing me drugs to sell, and I was selling drugs out of the fucking hospital where I just had,
Damn.
yeah, sitting there saying I'm not going back to that. And the minute I had him, I had people coming and dropping me drugs off, and people coming and buying shit for me. And, you know, at one point, I was so fucked up. I don't know how they fucking didn't know. I really don't. I was so, I mean, I think I waited 2 days until I got discharged, but I got to stay with him. They have to, by law, keep him for 5 days just to make sure they're good. So I get discharged, but I still get to stay for him, stay in the same room, everything like that. And he had to stay for the 5 days. But I'm coming out of the bathroom at one point, and there's a pill like laying on the floor. I'm so lucky I was the one that caught that. Because if one of them, that would have been it too. Like, and these things, still none of this shit stopped me. None of it. You know, I remember at one point I'm holding him and I'm laying in the bed, but I'm so fucking high that I'm like nodded out. And the nurse comes in and she's like, they just think I'm tired because I've been up all night with the baby. No, I was fucked up. And you know, it's fucked up to even say. I mean, I hate even thinking about it because I want to say I'm not that person, and I feel like I'm not that person when I'm not on drugs. You know what I mean?
You're not when you're not on drugs, but when you're high, it's like people don't. I think that people think that when we're fucked up, that we like want to be that way, and that like of course, I like the way drugs made me feel, but like never in my right mind would I have done that to my son.
Exactly.
You know, in my right mind.
Exactly. And not in my right mind would I have been selling drugs out of my freaking maternity room either. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just the circumstances. It just was crazy. Like, one of the people that just so happened to have a room next to me was like one of my best customers' brother just had a baby at the same time I did. And we're in the rooms next to each other. Like, are you fucking serious? So it was crazy. So I leave the hospital, and I'm still in this program with them. And I'm supposed to be continuing with them. But when they didn't come to check on him, I just never went back. I think I went and I saw him one more time, and I knew I had pissed dirty. So I wasn't going back. And they never called, nothing. I never heard another word from him. They never sent anybody here to check on him.
Yeah.
Crazy. So
God, girl, thank God, because you don't
thank God, yes. Thank God, yes, absolutely. But so moving on from there, I mean, I just immersed myself in this drug world that was beyond crazy. I had no more friends left. I had pretty much no family. I pushed everybody away. Everybody. It did not matter who you were. You're gone. Unless you could do something for me, or I could get drugs from you, or whatever I could do to get what I needed, or you were one of my suppliers that I got my shit from, you know, that I could make stuff. That was the only way you were talking to me. Right. And isolation really just set in, and it got worse obviously with COVID and stuff like that. You know, I am 125 days today, so it wasn't too long ago that this all, you know, came to an end for me.
That's amazing though. Like, you're sober, girl. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal because I honestly didn't think this would ever happen. I really didn't. I never knew how to do it. I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to tell my parents? Well, it just so happened that, you know, after that huge point of isolation, and then I start going to see people here and there again, they're seeing me nodding the fuck out. So I'm not hiding it as well as I thought I was hiding it at this point. You know what I mean? But then at this, I moved on from the Opanas, and I found a person who was selling, you know, the pressed pills, the fake ones, and they were nothing but fentanyl. And I was like, well, I like this better because and my tolerance at this point was so high that you could catch me in one day doing 10 to 15 of these. And one of these things was killing people. One. So, I mean, that can just tell you how high my tolerance was. It's insane. But, and I would do a few at a time. I wouldn't just do one. That was not enough for me. I had
When
to
you have tolerance and you've been using for so long, like that's what happens. And a lot of people that don't understand that, they think, oh, there's no way you could have been doing that many pills. And it's like, no, when you are doing opiates or benzos every single day, like they stop working and you have to take more, you know?
I'm telling you, I didn't even feel regular 30 milligram Percocets, and I could take 5, 6 at a time, and I still would not feel them.
Yeah.
So, I was doing a lot of that. I was doing a lot of fentanyl at that point. And down here where I live, you know, and in the city and stuff, you know, they say they have heroin, but it's not heroin. It's all fentanyl. There may be like a splash in there, but there isn't much, if any. It's just fentanyl. And then I met another person who was going to Baltimore a couple times a week, actually pretty much every single day. And I started driving him there and putting myself in the worst parts of Baltimore and not giving a fuck. And the police down there do not care. I can't tell you how many times I'd be like standing there and they were there.
Is it true that they give out free samples of dope down there? Like I've heard this one guy tell me that the drug dealers, there's so many of them that they want to give you a free taste so that way you'll come back.
Yep. They call it a tester. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's like it's a capsule. They give you a capsule and you get to, and there's a good amount in there. It's enough for you and one other person to do like a fat lump, you know. I don't want to get into all that, but yes, there's enough for a 2-person to get a little bit of something off of it. And yes, they call them testers and they will give them out to you because they want to get your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Damn. You know, that's so funny because you're the second person. I just thought that was normal.
Girl, they don't do that down here.
You were the second person in this past week who has said that to me. I thought that was normal, but yeah, they would give testers. Because there is so many. There's one on every corner, girl. And they're all for different people. So, you know, they want your business. Especially they see, you know, somebody they know that is not from that city coming down there and they know they got some money to spend. So they want you.
Yeah. It's like competition.
Oh,
that's why there's a bunch of competition down there. See, the competition here in Arkansas is smaller because it's a smaller state, you know, not as many. Like you can go downtown and there's not heroin dealers everywhere. Like there are in y'all cities, there's like a heroin dealer I've heard on every corner.
Yeah,
it's not like that here.
It's insane. It really is crazy. It doesn't matter. Like you can
or go to like Philadelphia, like they did. I think there was like a group of people from TikTok that went to Kensington.
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Yeah. And I would love to do that because I've never been in an area that's so saturated with people that are struggling. Like that would be amazing to be able to help those people. Like, oh God, I would be down there crying the whole time probably.
Oh yeah, girl. We made food for them, hot meals, gave them clothing, and snack bags, and we all morning long we cooked for them and stuff, and then brought it out there and gave it to them. It was really humbling for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, squirrel, where was I at? Oh, I met a guy who I was running him back and forth to Baltimore. He didn't want to share what he had with other people that used to take him. I guess that he was giving them more or something. I don't know, but you know, at the end of that, I was making him give me just as much as I fucking want. You want to ride down there? You're going to give me as much as I want. And I know you ain't paying a lot for them because they're only $6 a piece. So don't, you know, like I was getting pretty ballsy for my little self at this point.
Right.
And I did not give a fuck at all. Like I was balls to the walls ballsy. If you fucked with me, we had a fucking problem.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know how I did it, but I did. But you know,
we will make a way. We will make it happen.
Exactly. So, you know, I was doing that a few times a week and we were going up and back and up and back. And, you know, I was just doing so much of this and I had a moment of blackout, and it was like a 2-day blackout where just craziness happened. So crap, I gotta back up a second. One of my friends passed away from an overdose on the 28th of May. And they dumped his body out of the car on the side of the road to die. And that was literally the start of my decline, because I had just dropped him off at work an hour before. And he called me. He was like, I left my shoes in your car. And I was like, fuck yeah, you did. Well, I ain't going back out because it's early in the damn morning. And he didn't expect me to either. But, I left him he was supposed to meet his boss at this McDonald's. I dropped him off at McDonald's. And then I came back home. And he called me as I was pulling up in my driveway and telling me about the shoes. And I said, are you good? Did he get there? Because when I had left, he wasn't there yet. And he's like, yeah. And you could tell he was in a car. But I don't, obviously now he wasn't with that person. And they still to this day don't know who it was. But the shittiest thing about it is there was a place that could have saved him a half a mile down the street. And there is laws in place today so that you do not get in trouble if you try to save somebody's life. Like, that shit pisses me off, man.
I know.
And like, that was a gut punch for me, but still not enough to make me stop. But 2 days later, I got a DUI, and I thought I was going home until I found out they found something in my car as well, which was like the stupidest thing. It was like a half of a Subutex, which I had a prescription for before, but they weren't hearing it because it had been quite some time. And they charged me with paraphernalia because it was in a cellophane wrapper. That's petty as fuck.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got like reckless endangerment. I got like 8 charges out of that one because I slammed into something. I don't even remember it. I don't remember any of it. I was never a big Xanax user, and I had taken a Xanax, and I don't remember anything else. I shouldn't have been driving. I was driving to the man's house to pick up some shit, and I never made it there because I wrecked and got that DUI. So I went to jail. I didn't even spend a night in jail. It was probably from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until dark outside. And then I came home and then still went to the man. And it's just so crazy just thinking back on it. So moving back to the guy, I had this 2-day blackout of just craziness. And I don't remember anything. I don't even know how I got here. I don't know anything. I pulled into somebody's I was driving. This is the scariest thing. I don't remember. I pulled into somebody's driveway, and apparently I threw my keys in the woods, the only set of keys I had to my car. So they couldn't get me on a DUI. However, this was 6 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday morning. We're sitting out like looking for the keys to my car with like cell phone flashlights. And the dude I'm with is like waving people down. Like, you dummy. So of course we get the cops called on us, and they come, and I don't even remember them getting there. I don't remember anything. Like, the police report is a little comical, but really fucked up at the same time, because they asked me for my license, and I don't remember any of this, but apparently I go to the car to get it, and I know I didn't have a license. They took it from me when I got the DUI. So I'm going to the car to get nothing, but I'm like reaching, it says that I was nodded out. Like, I kept nodding out, and they kept having to tell me what I was getting. And I reached down, like, and there was a crack pipe there. Apparently I went to go pick it up, and they were like, we told Miss Stapleton not to pick it up, and she complied. I don't remember any of that. None of it.
Damn.
But they found 16 grams of fentanyl. All, in capsules. So it was all nicely packaged together, which is not good.
Right.
They found about 10 Opanas, a bunch of Xanax bars, the crack pipe, just a bunch of stuff. So they pat us down, and then they put us in the car to go to jail. And, at that point, people are just done with me, girl. Nobody would bail me out at all. I saw the commissioner. He wanted money on my head, so I wasn't going anywhere. And I had to stay in jail for a few days. And finally, because I did not have any other charges except for that DUI on back record, they let me go on a $10,000 unsecured bond. So I was able to get out. But sick shit in there. crying my eyes out, a hot mess. Nobody would come get me. People were hanging up on me. I was trying to call them, like they weren't having it.
Yeah.
And I had to hitchhike home. I get home and like my bags are packed on the driveway. Nobody will let me in. It was just a mess. And, you know, I got all in all the charges. I got 3 felonies, 17 misdemeanors altogether. Because when I got to jail, more stuff fell out of my clothing that I didn't realize was there. And
Damn.
they warned me before I got there, but I was so messed up. At one point, I think I remember grabbing the stuff like and having it in my hand, and they're cuffing me and I have it in my hand, and I tried to shove it in the cop car like seat, but I've got T-Rex arms and they're so short I couldn't even reach that damn thing. So I wound up sticking it back in my pants. And of course it falls out when I get there and they're strip searching me. So that was a couple more charges tacked to it. And so I get out, all that crazy stuff happens. I am part of a pretrial release. And with that pretrial release, I had to do a urinalysis before I left the jail. And I have to check in with corrections twice a week. I have to go do urinalysis twice. I think it was twice a week at first. And I pissed dirty every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. They were like, we suggest, or we want you to go to the crisis hotline, which is in our local, what's it called? Health department.
Mm-hmm.
I coerced them into give me Subutex because I told them I was allergic to Suboxone. So I could still get high. And when I didn't have shit, I have the Subutex to help me out. But if I found something later, I could still get high. Okay, come on. And this is where they
getting over on them, girl.
And this is where they sent me. Like, come on. It's just crazy because
like, inpatient treatment.
That's what I needed.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? My lawyer was the one. My lawyer. Nobody else. My lawyer. When I finally retained a lawyer, because this was a pretty big one, so I definitely needed a lawyer for this one. Yeah. And you know, I retained her, and she was like, "Erin, do you think you have a problem?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe." I guess I just didn't really want to say it out loud, even though I knew I did. At that point, I knew it was. Yeah. You know, and I got the results of that urinalysis when I left the police station. Every single thing that you could absolutely think of was in that. He was like, "You were lit up." I was like, "Obviously, couldn't tell." Yeah. You know? And so I'm talking to the lawyer, and you know, I actually had to. She's like, "I want you to look in the inpatient," and I was like, I had to sleep on it. Like, really? Instead of just saying, yeah, I need to go, I'm like, I need a day to think about this.
Yeah.
It's so freaking stupid, man.
It's scary whenever it's like you're faced with the opportunity and you know you need it, but then you're like scared to do it, you know, because it's a big change when you go to get sober. It's not a joke.
It really is. And it's like a whole new world. Like, you don't, and it's almost like that you're mourning the loss of your drug.
Yep.
But let me tell you what, I went hard as shit until I hit that door, which is horrible. I mean,
well, like, everybody does that, girl. Like, you gotta get that last one. You know what I mean?
Girl, I know, but like I left my house that morning and I was throwing up. I was so like, I had done so much. Like, my body just couldn't handle it anymore. I was vomiting, but I had to stop at his house one more time. And I did. Before I drove up there and went to rehab, which is so ridiculous, but I did it. And, you know, I'm throwing up, like having to pull over the whole way. It's horrible, but I still needed it. I was not going in those doors without it. Yeah. And, I took, you know, the last before I walked in that door. And, that's really where it really changed for me. I had a hard time though in the beginning. I went to a wonderful facility. It was called Tranquility Woods, and it's one of the top 3 in the nation. And they were amazing. And I think it was so good because it was a small group. They kept the number small, 20 people max at all times. Uh-huh. And I think that, you know, with that, there was more one-on-one and more of a smaller group where you got more, you know, drilled into that head of yours.
Yeah.
And I needed that. I think I needed that. And because I don't think I would have opened up as much with so many people, you know, at the beginning of it. But I did. I had a hard time, and I had a pity party that, like, for the first 3 weeks, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life, and you know, all that shit. And
Right.
but I think it wasn't until week 3 that I finally got that moment. Like, I was like, damn it, this actually needed to happen for me to start this process. Because
Yes.
if that wouldn't have happened, my ass would still be out there, or my ass would be dead. One or the other. And I could probably guarantee you it would have been the other, because I was going so hard. So
Yeah.
hard. And oh, one more funny thing is that they gave me my evidence bag back with drugs still in it as well.
What?
Yes, girl.
What?
I think they got so excited. It was all, I had this big Michael Kors wallet. I think they got so excited about what they found inside that they didn't check the back pocket. And the back pocket had a bunch of shit in it too. And they gave it back to me with it in there. Swear to God.
Did you do it, or did you stay sober?
I gave it away.
Okay,
I actually gave it away, but no, I didn't stay sober. This is when I got this is when I got out of jail before I went into rehab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My little boy, sorry.
Oh, so yeah, no, I've been sober ever since treatment. I have not touched anything at all. I do take the Vivitrol shot.
That's good. That's great.
That's all I get. You know, I don't take anything else. I have not relapsed. I don't even think about it. I took direction, and I started doing that listening thing that we never did before, and started listening to them say, once you do the next right thing, the next right thing is going to come to you. Yep. And so when I got out, I did absolutely every single thing they told me to do. I started an IOP, which is the intensive outpatient. I got a sponsor. I do meetings, and I am a freaking meeting junkie. I don't care. I will go to them all damn day. In person is obviously my favorite, and they still have them going on around here. So I will go to Zooms, and I will go to in person. I don't even care. I'll do it all day. I love them. I'm a junkie. I'm a recovering addict, you know?
You have to listen to what people are telling you to do when you get sober.
Yeah.
That's the problem that a lot of people have when they're trying to get clean, is that they want to do it their way. And your way is the reason why you're here in the first place. You don't know shit. You need to listen to somebody else tell you how to do it. Yeah. And that was my problem too. I would not take suggestions. And it wasn't until my little boy got taken away that I opened my mind and started listening to what other people that had been sober longer than me told me to do. I listened to everything they told me to do, just like you did. I was the same way. I started my own little women's meeting. I was gung-ho. After the first year I got sober, because my sponsor wouldn't let me say anything until after a year, then I started just going hard, like making my own meetings and doing all these things. That's what you have to do. You're not going to be able to sit at home and soak up sobriety by watching TV. That does not work. You have to get right in the middle of it and make it yours. That's what I've been trying to tell so many people, and people get mad at me because I'm so serious about people getting their lives back and changing, but I'm also not going to be like, oh, honey, you can just sit down all day long and chill. You don't do the work, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. You're going to be the same person you were before, only you ain't got drugs now, so you're miserable.
Exactly. And I always tell people it's a matter of life and death. If you sugarcoat that shit, and you may be killing somebody. So what is the point of babying somebody and sugarcoating the shit? Do not, because and this is why I love, you know, TikTok, because I share the good, the bad, the ugly. I've got videos of me nodding out on there. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit for them. Like, this is how it is. And, you know, like, you really are fighting for your life every single day. And if you don't put that work in, then we all know what happens. You know, you become complacent. You don't listen to people. You can't be teachable. And then you do the things that are the relapse before the pickup. Yeah. You know? And
what happened to your court charges? Are you still waiting on them?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Sorry.
So, one thing I want to say before I get there, I had this one counselor who was not even my counselor in rehab. He was amazing. And he, right before I left, it was almost like fate. Like he was sitting outside just writing in something, and I had happened to come out there for some unknown reason. I don't even know why I was out there. But I'm sitting out there, and him and I are talking. And he's like, Erin, I'm a part of this club, and you can be part of it too. Because he was, I don't know what he saw in me, but he saw something in me. And he was like, I feel like you're going to help so many women in NA, because he is like an NA advocate. So he's like, I just have this feeling you're going to help so many people. And he was like, I am a part of the one and done club, and you can be a part of that too. He's married to a woman who's been relapsed 14 times, but he still stayed clean one time. That's it for him. And he was like, I know you can be part of that too if you put the work in. And like that really stuck with me. Like, I don't want to let him down, and I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let anybody else down.
That's good.
So I'm really trying just for today, you know?
You got to use that as motivation, though. That's awesome. And I totally understand. Like, my husband has struggled with his sobriety for the last almost 2 years, year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And you, just because your significant other is getting high doesn't mean you have to get high.
Yes. And that's what I learned. Your actions.
You have to get high because or they think that you're going to get high because your significant other is relapsing. No, like if you're doing the work, you're not going to use, like if you're staying sober and doing the work, you have defense against drugs and alcohol. It's when you stop doing the work that you don't have the defense, and that's when you got to get worried. But as long as you're staying vigilant and working diligent and working on your recovery and being honest and letting people know what you're going through and reaching out for help. Like every time my husband used to relapse, I'd be like, y'all, my husband relapsed. I'm freaking out, blah, blah, blah. I tell everybody about it because I needed to tell people about it so people would know. Let's keep an eye on Nicole. Her husband relapsed. We got to make sure she's okay. And that made me accountable.
Yes. And I love that saying, it dies in the light of exposure.
Yeah. You got to put the light on that shit.
Yes.
You know?
Telling yourself all the time. I love it. I do that all the time. I feel like all my shit's out there, so I don't even care anymore. Like if if this is gonna help somebody, then why not? It's already out there. Everybody knows everything anyway. So my lawyer, her and I went to court. She actually put my my DUI up into circuit court. Everything while I was in rehab, the grand jury indicted me. So I flicked out about that too.
Damn.
And she's like, it's going to be okay, Erin. You're going to be okay. And I'm like, am I going to do jail time? You know, like, I don't want to do any more jail time. Damn it, I'm too bougie for that shit. So, but, you know, if I have to do the time, I did the crime, so I do it. But I don't want to. So we go into court, and I don't know if this is allowed, but I totally did a live in court. I turned my TikTok live on, and I got so many people following me on that. They were all flicking out because my phone died right in the middle. And so they're like, oh my God.
Recording the court? Like wow, the court was going, oh, that's cool. That's a good idea.
So they read everything, like all the statements, which like listening to it then when I'm clear-headed, it was embarrassing to say the least.
Yeah.
But the judge was amazing. I mean, if there was an advocate for an addict, it was that guy. Like, he just wants you to be better.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's somebody that he's connected to that has this disease, or if him himself did, but something softened this man's heart, because not only did he strike my guilty plea I had to plead guilty for the DUI. He struck that because he's like, I know you need to get to places, and I'm not going to take your license for that. He didn't have to do that. But I pled guilty to conspiracy to distribute fentanyl, which actually held 20 years on a misdemeanor.
Wow.
But I only am doing 18 months of drug court, and that is it.
That's good.
I know.
Good. Especially drug court's great if you're ready to stay sober.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can do great on drug court if you're ready to be sober.
People say it's so hard, and I'm like, how? I've been doing it for the past 2 months, and I'm like, I don't see anything hard about it.
Well, if you're ready to be sober, you can do it. It's easy. But that's the thing, is that a lot of people they offered me drug court when I got in trouble, but I was not ready to stay sober. So I did not take it because I was like, Oh, hell no. You know what I mean? Like I would have been getting sanctions left and right and got, oh, no. But when you're ready, it works. It's a great program and they give you access to like support and help from other people that are in recovery, you know?
Yeah.
That's
They'll
good.
support you with anything, honestly. Like he was like, you know, we can help you with housing if you need housing, if you need help with a job. Like I've never met a judge like this. Like I was worried, I was scared, and this judge is amazing. Like
That's
he's
how it should
amazing.
be with
Yes.
addicts. You shouldn't be put in prison for drug charges. You should be offered help. You know, like, and that's the problem with the prisons is that they have all these people in there for petty bullshit, drug charges, possession charges, delivery charges. Those people don't need to be sitting in prison learning how to do more crimes. They need to be out in society being rehabilitated.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And he could have given me so much, girl. I had 46 years hanging over my head.
you're
46 years.
very blessed to have that judge. He
Beyond.
must have had somebody in his family or something that had
Has
addiction.
to.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but it has to. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been in the drug court when he's put somebody away, but it's because they weren't doing the right thing. You don't
Right.
play. He wants you to get better and he wants you to work your program and do it to the best of your ability because he wants you to be rehabilitated and be in recovery.
Yeah.
But if you fuck him over and you lie to him and you continue doing stupid shit, he ain't fucking with you. He told me the first time I fuck up, I'm going to sentencing. That's
Yeah.
it. But and I get it because he gave me such a break, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean today I'm 125 days. I run a Zoom meeting nightly for people. If it's getting bigger and bigger every night, it's a speaker meeting. It's so good. Like I love it. And the support that never would have thought I would get on a TikTok of all places. People laugh at me that don't understand it. And I'm like, you have no idea. So
I
you don't know it
know.
unless you lived it. So shush. And I
Yeah.
say it all the time. And they're just like, are you on your TikTok? Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I
Because
used to make fun of people for having TikToks because I didn't understand. I
yeah,
thought it was for little kids. I
yeah,
really did. But it's not. It's in fact, I think they passed some kind of thing where there's not there if you're not over the age of 16, you're not even going to be able to have access to certain parts of TikTok. I saw something online about it.
uh,
But I thought it was for little kids. And then when I went over there, and I was like, this is amazing. My boss was on there, Dr. B in Austin. And when I
yes.
saw that they were on there and they were making content and people were loving it, I was like, why am I not on here? And that's when I started. And I think it's amazing. I've met so many awesome people
Yes.
that are in recovery.
It's so crazy. And like, even people that have more time than you, like, I was thinking, you know, people would be like, you know, you're still young in this and blah, 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 blah. And no, even people that have a lot of time hit me up asking me for things. And, you know, it's nice to be able to be present for that, you know, and be able to help other people because I really try to do that all the time now. I really do.
Right. Well, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not quantity does not equal quality. And so
No.
it doesn't matter how long you've been sober. Like that's why I try to tell people when I ask people to come on here, like I want people who are at all stages in their sobriety that are all in different, like take different pathways. Like you're on Vivitrol. I'm so glad you said that you were on Vivitrol because I have so many people that watch my channel that are on Vivitrol. Then I have a bunch of people that watch my channel that are on MAT, methadone, Suboxone, Sublocade. Then I have a bunch of people that watch my channel that are abstinent, and I support all that recovery. And it doesn't, like, you don't have to be sober for 25 years to be doing the right thing. And also, like, that is an old way of thinking that you don't have anything to offer or bring to the table. You can help somebody else at 30 days sober, at 5 days sober, just by sharing that hey, I got 5 days sober today. One person that only has 1 day sober or 0 days sober is going to be like, whoa, you've been sober for 5 days. Maybe I can do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's inspiring for other people to hear your journey,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it makes a difference. Like,
It
just,
does.
you cannot be afraid to share your story or think that you're not good enough or think that because you've been sober for a shorter period of time than somebody else that you don't have anything to offer, and I
Right.
don't like that. But I do know a lot of people that are older and have been sober for a really long time, and they kind of like think they're in that old school mentality, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm new school recovery.
Yeah. And I like it though. I like this recovery because I just feel like we all really do help each other. And the community on there is amazing. Like they just embraced me like right away and kind of really just took me in, and like it's just been upwards from there. And it's like out of control now. I love it. And we're
I
working
know.
on sober
They're
con.
all linking your Zoom meeting in the comments. All your
I know.
girls, they're putting the Zoom meeting and then the Zoom ID, because we have people that come in here that ask about. We have 50 people in here right now on this live stream.
Oh my gosh.
And then we'll upload. Yeah, there's 50 people in here. Then we'll upload it, and then hundreds of people will see it. Your video will be on YouTube now for the rest of your life until you want me to take it down.
Oh, I'll never let you take it down. Yeah,
You know?
I'm an attention whore, girl. Keep that shit up.
So am I. So tell me this. What is the hardest thing about staying sober? Like, do you have any struggles, anything that you struggle with?
You know, I don't want to say every day is a great day because it's not. I would be lying. I don't have a problem staying sober. I really do not. Like, so the Vivitrol helps with cravings. I can tell you I haven't had a craving at all. Now,
Yeah.
trigger, that's something different. I have had triggers, but since I went to rehab, I now have the coping skills. Like the minute I got out of treatment, I think I was 10 minutes out and I got triggered so badly. I was like, and normally I would, girl, I'd just start throwing bows or I would start screaming at the top of my lungs. But I was like, I need you to pull the car over. I got out of the car, smoked a couple cigarettes, and calmly got back in and was like, accept the things you cannot change, accept the things you cannot change, accept the things you cannot change. And I was good. But like I try to just change my surroundings. And, you know, like I said, I do the good, the bad, the ugly. And I've been on TikTok crying my eyes out to people and they've all been there for me. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every single day. It is going to be hard and you are going to have to want it and you're going to have to fight for it. But every day is not going to be hard either. You know, you are going to have good days too. And I have more good days than I have bad days. But that's life in general. That's life in general. You know, I mean,
staying sober is easier than getting high. It is. You got to work your ass
off.
off.
It's a full-time job that you pay somebody else for, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, April wants me to tell you that she loves you.
I fucking love you, bitch.
She's like, please tell her I love her. So I love the women on TikTok because I mean, everybody's so kind and loving and supportive. For the most part, I haven't had any bad experiences with anybody on TikTok. Everybody's been so amazing and just it makes me happy because I'm that kind of person. I want to make friends with everybody, you know?
Yeah. It's genuine, which is what I like. It's not fake.
Yeah.
Because we can pick a bullshitter out of the crowd, man.
For sure. Yeah.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter, man, because we know he ain't gonna get us.
It's easy to relate to people that are like, I think that we've all been through the same things. And when we talk about our experiences, we connect with each other through that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. It makes me so happy. Like, you are so on fire for your sobriety. And I just like, I'm trying to think to when I was like 100 and something days sober. I think I was miserable. I was like barely crawling my way out of the gutter. I was so sad all the time.
Keeps telling me all the time. She's like, I was about to jump off a bridge and look at you're sitting here hosting Zooms. You're doing this, you're doing that. But that's what I need for me. It's not for everybody, but for me, that's what works.
You get involved. You're getting that really makes a difference when you get involved and you have a responsibility now, and that is going to help you stay sober. Like you creating that accountability with your group of people that you do the Zoom with. That's like when I started my YouTube channel 3-4 years ago, that was exactly what I was doing, is I needed to have people that I could talk to all the time and that they would know if I was fucked up. And it was, I don't know if you're intentionally doing this. I wasn't. I was unintentionally creating this community around me to help hold me accountable.
Absolutely unintentional, girl, from the beginning. Yeah. But I have a wonderful group that comes to my Zoom meetings and just A1s from day one, and they're amazing people. Amazing. Every single one of them.
If you keep doing that, like it's going to be, you keep doing that make yourself a YouTube channel too, man. And you can, like I'm telling you, every platform that you can share across, do that. Like have your TikTok and then have your YouTube and then your Facebook. And then you can broadcast live to your Facebook and YouTube at the same time and do your, I love it. Like it makes me so happy to have like these
You
kind
were
of little,
made for this, girl. You were made for this.
I'm obsessed with doing it. Like
Yeah.
I literally seek people out every week because I'm like, we got to have a Friday show. We got to have a Friday show. You know, like it makes me. I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing people's experiences. It gets me so excited about my own sobriety. I was just telling everybody before you came on. I was like, I could be having a bad day on a Friday, and then we have our speaker, and then after we get done, I'm like, I'm so pumped. I'm staying up to like midnight doing live streams on TikTok.
Yes. Yes. Same,
Because
same,
I
girl,
get so
same.
excited. You
I love
know,
it.
I'm so proud of you and I'm so honored that you came on my channel. Like I really do appreciate you coming on and sharing your story for real.
Thank you for having me. I was proud to be here.
And listen, this is what we're going to do. So I will upload this video. I want you to text me the Zoom link and the Zoom password. So that way, when I upload this video, I can put your meeting in the description box and in the comment section. So that way, anybody that watches it after it's uploading, if they want to come to your meeting every night, they can come to your meeting.
Sweet. I would appreciate
Okay?
it. That's awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
And anytime you want to come back on and share, or if you have something special going on that you want me to share with Real Talk Recovery, like if you have, anything that you want me to promote, all you got to do is send me the link to whatever it is, and I'll share it in my Facebook group, and I'll share it on TikTok. Like I don't mind like helping share stuff around. Like I'm open to helping anybody when it comes to recovery. So I'm not like one of those people that's like, I'm not sharing your stuff. Like I'm
Right.
not a competitive person when it comes to recovery. I'm just trying to, because I know there's going to be some people that don't like me. They don't get along with my personality, and they might be able to hear your message better than they hear mine. And
Right.
so you might want to go to your meeting instead of come to this meeting because they can. Some people like it's the messenger. Like some people like a different messenger, and they might jive with you better on your personality. So
Right.
as
Right.
long as it's helping somebody to stay sober and get their life back, like I'm all about supporting that.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. So if any of these people in your room want to come follow me on TikTok that don't, I'm at Dizzy.
Oh, and I need you to send me your too,
Okay.
so I can.
And if they want to use my hashtag recovering souls.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Okay, recovering souls. Then what's your on TikTok?
At Dizzylicious with 3 Z's.
Why do you call yourself Dizzy? I need to know that for a second.
Okay, so I would show you, but I can't get my foot into the screen. But my girlfriend a long time ago named me Diz, and it's just the dumbest story, and I won't even get into it because it's ridiculous. But ever since then, everybody has called me Diz. So it just went from Dizzy, and I don't even know why I did Dizzylicious. First, and it's just stuck. Nobody knows me as anything else. I can't even change it.
I know. I was like, I texted her, you guys. I was like, hey, girl, what's your real name? And I was like, I don't know. I call her Dizzy. I don't know.
I'm telling you, everybody calls me Diz or Dizzy, so Dizzy or is fine with me.
Thank you so much, girl. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna upload this video. I'm gonna let you go because I've had you on here for an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
You did amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for taking up the whole hour. That's always great. So that way we have a full video. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Okay?
girl. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, babe. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Erin did so amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming here and supporting Erin and listening to her share her experience, strength, and hope. If any of you guys want to be a guest on my YouTube channel from TikTok, I do this every Friday and every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anybody is welcome to come share their story. It doesn't matter like how you got sober, how long you've been sober. I just want to share people's experiences of positivity getting sober. Like I want to share their hope. And so that's the point, is here to help people get sober and help people get inspired to get sober. So yeah, that was fucking kick ass. I like her, you guys. We'll have to have her back on. Same with all my other girls. We have been having some bomb ass bitches come on lately. And so I need to get some guys because we need to balance it out. So if you're a guy and you want to come on my channel, hit me up. Hit me up. Okay. So, and also, before we leave, you guys, I saw all of you guys putting some like recommendations for videos in the chat, and I'm like seriously gonna make those videos. So, for those of you guys that were putting in there the suggestions, thank you for putting suggestions. I got a bunch of lists right here, and I'm gonna go back through the comments and find the rest of them that you put in here. Also, I saw you guys talking to Chris. Chris, if you're still in the chat and you need help with anything, man, you can always text me on the Real Talk Recovery phone line. It's right there on the screen. Any of you guys that are struggling can always text me on that number, okay? Pregnancy while addicted. I got you, girl. And I have experience with that. And I'm very, very, you guys, I don't mean to get emotional when I talk about that, but it's something I really struggle with still to this day because I wish I would have stopped when I was pregnant. But anyway, I don't want to get emotional. Thank you guys for coming tonight. I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to go over and go live on TikTok. So if any of you guys want to come, go live with me on TikTok, come on over, and I'm going to upload this video. And I love you guys, and I'll see you guys Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.